Hello people, this is JD. I'm going to talk to you a little bit, and I'm going to have to keep glasses on because I have to be able to see the time on the computer. My timer, my beep beep is not working. Okay people, what I'm going to talk to you about is something that, am I qualified? Actually, would I or could I be President of the United States? And what type of person would I be? Well, let's take a look first at me. Am I a Joe Plumber? No. Have I done plumbing on my house? Yes. I've also worked electronics. I've worked on computers from who knows when. They're a tinker toy to me. I mean, they are very simple. I've also worked on my own car because I couldn't afford to have it fixed. Plain and simple, give you an example. The driver's side door handle in a 95 Oldsmobile I have broke. I have to fix it. I ordered the part. Okay? I'm not Joe the plumber. I am the average middle-class American, struggling every day to make it. But what is the traits that I carry that would make me president? Okay, let's take a look at the current situation in the world. A lot of people seem to have forgotten what bin Laden said when he planned to destroy the United States. He knows physically he can't come up against us and match us gun for gun. But he didn't say. He said the way to destroy the United States is economically. Now, a lot of people said, oh, he tried to do that with the Twin Towers. No, he started to do that. And then the cost of pursuing him is the economics that he's talking about. The cost to wage the war against Al-Qaeda. He knows the United States is a glutton for punishment. He knows that the people in the United States is very charitable. He's counting on a lot of things. And then our economy went and did a nosedive. And what does Obama do? He's doing everything in his power to help bin Laden win, by driving our economy into a bankruptcy. Now, will a person of Obama's statue, or even a Republican, have the ability to stand up to bankruptcy and say, no, it will not happen? They haven't had any experience with dealing with an economic situation. Now, will the economy be the downfall of the United States? Before we do that, let's look at what happened to other world, quote, powers. Germany, World War II, into Russia. Everyone claims it's the Russian winter that brought them down. The truth is, no, they could not economically support their troops in Russia. They could economically support their troops in Petersburg. They could have very easily succeeded had they put the economic support needed to maintain their troops in Russia. They did not have the economics needed, and therefore the ability was lost. Well, let's take a look at another great military, Napoleon. Again in Russia. They say, oh, it's that mini ice age that destroyed him. No, it's the economic support that destroyed him. Again, his troops were not prepared for the winter, and economically they could not get the necessary materials there because they did not have the economics to do it. Therefore, that long supply line became a problem. Whereas if they had the economics, they could do it. Well, bin Laden studied history, and knows economics is what brings down. Now here's a major economic power in the world, whose economics is the nation. And that's what he's fighting after. That's what he's doing. As long as we can economically support our nation will remain strong. Not politically. People who believe in us, you and me, is where our strength is. Now, can the politicians who think politics only turn their head in the other direction? They can only see one direction. Also, the nuclear arms. Where's the danger in arms reduction? Peace, peace, no. Once they reach a point of arms reduction to where a nation feels it can survive a major attack from another nation, you have just opened the gates to hell. You have just made the possibility of nuclear war a reality. Almost everybody has nuclear weapons now. If not, soon they will. Once they realize they can survive, you have opened the world to nuclear war. That is the truth. That's the way the world is out there. It's not like the United States. This is politics now. So how do we maintain peace? Well, we have to go through a different direction, for one. We have to take the teeth or the excuses out of those radical, whatever you want to call them, so that they really have nothing. But how do we do that? Starting by respecting the sovereignty of all nations and leave it up to the people of those nations to choose their government, and then up to the people to support their government. A prime example is the Ivory Coast right now. The people have voted in a person in power, but the people do not choose to support it, who they voted in. The military, which is made up of the people, is following the person who lost, whereas they should be right now following the person who won. But they don't have the common sense to understand. And the people of that nation don't have the ability and the common sense to stand up and say, no, this is who we want. But it's up to them to do it, not the United States. We cannot be the policemen of the world. We need to back down. We need to accept the world as it is. And we need to understand that the people of this nation, not us, the United States, but the actual people of the Ivory Coast, are the ones who need to go and do what needs to be done. Next thing, politically. Look at the Constitutionist Party. See what it's based on. See how it is. Check out the Constitutionist Party against the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. See what the political goals of each are. You will see that the Constitutionist Party is based on you, the individual, and protecting your rights and your pursuit. To develop a government that is there for you and to enable you to, from the sweat of your brow, earn a living for you and your family. And to take as little as possible to support the government. Not look at you, the American individual, as an open pocketbook. That when we need to spend more money, we just raise your taxes. That cannot be. That cannot continue that trend. We have certain agreements with the American people, like Social Security, which is an insurance program which the American people paid for, that must be upheld. The American government must realize its word has to start meaning something, not change because we need to spend the money elsewhere. What we need to do is stop spending money frivolously. Yes. So as you see, this is just a little bit of JD. A person who has a lot of experience in a lot of different things. A person who has had a leadership role in the military as a chief, who could give orders and have people follow them and complete those orders, as well as follow orders. This is something a lot of these congressmen who have no military experience has no idea. The American people are the absolute boss in this country. Not the Congress, not the House, not the Senate, not the President. The American people. Unfortunately, the politicians don't believe that. They say it, but they don't believe it. Unfortunately, JD believes that more than anything else. Not a special interest group, not a bank, not someone with a lot of money. Bill Gates has as much power in the United States as our poorest citizen. It's up to the government to recognize that. And it's up to us, the people, and Bill Gates to see to it that it maintains that way. That the American people, and I use Bill Gates because of how rich he is, so that you understand that each and every individual in the eyes of the government are equal. We don't see you and what you possess. We see you as a person and nothing more. Our government needs to start understanding that. Bottom line is, though, I can't turn everything around. I can't even start it alone. Unless you all get out there and realize what type of government you want. A constitutional government founded by our forefathers and the Constitution of the United States, or a political government maintained by the political parties, Republican and Democrats. And you have to decide. And you have to get out there and start drumming the people up, each and every one. You might say, JD, but you say a lot that's good. And yes, there's a lot of people out there. But unless you all start spreading me so other people who don't have on my friends list, who isn't in YouTube, who isn't in the universities that monitor me, that word doesn't get out. It's not going to happen. We can put our government back to where our forefathers founded it. But we can only do it together. And you must all realize you must do it. Not me.